Welcome to Backseat Confessions Podcast. Slide into the backseat as we listen to mostly anonymous strangers tell us stories from their lives. I'm a rideshare driver in Atlanta, and the people getting in my car have absolutely no idea I'm going to ask them to share. My commitment to you is to tell at least a snippet of virtually every story recorded in my car in the order they were told to me. My hope is that you laugh, cringe, cry, but mostly connect to these amazing people. You may find a piece of your own story or just feel more connected to the rest of us. Join us, won't you? So, hey, my new friend. This is an adult podcast. Themes and languages are definitely not suitable for everyone. Listener discretion is advised. Hey, you over there. I see you. You're just hanging out on the side of the information highway, hoping that someone was going to come along in a shiny podcast vehicle and see your thumb up and offer you a ride. And normally, I'm not one to recommend you jump in and go for a ride with strangers, but first of all, that's what the whole rideshare world is all about. You riding with a stranger or two. Second of all, this is going to be fun and fairly safe. So why not? Take a chance. And maybe you'll discover that after riding with strangers for a minute, you start becoming friends. Bet you didn't see that one coming, did you? Kicking us off today is a story about making mistakes and not regretting them. And besides, is it really a mistake if all that happens is you get kicked out of a fraternity, but you end up with a cool experience?
Story number 152. Saturday, February 13th, 2021, 10:42 p.m.
I was in the University of Virginia, and I was trying to rush to a frat, and there was a frat called Teak, and was a Taocopa episode. Yeah. I was trying to rush there, so I was going to the parties before in the pre-rush events.
Yeah.
And I was kind of getting close to the guys, but so I went to a party and I banged that chick, but we started to make out in a room, and she was sad. We were talking, and everyone is looking at me so strangely. So I didn't really understand that. But after banging her, I learned that she was brother of the biggest, the most experienced brothers. So I got kicked out.
Oh no! Oh, so you picked the wrong girl.
Yeah, I picked the wrong girl.
Oh.
I don't regret it.
So it was a good time with her.
It was a good time, yeah.
Yeah, okay, but her brother
he was
not happy.
He was not happy.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a crazy story. Have you guys kept in touch with each other since then, or was it kind of just this a one-time fling?
One time
thing? Okay, very, very good. Well, Stuart, thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
I love his attitude of no regrets. As long as it doesn't ruin your life or kill you, why not take the chance? So many of us live with the knowledge that we could have had that grand adventure or met that amazing person or helped start that company, whatever it is. but we let the proverbial frat brother talk us out of it. So, here's to taking more chances and seeing where the road leads you. This rider was friends with the last guy, and he shares another story about an encounter with a lady, but his goes in a decidedly random category.
Story number 153. Saturday, February 13th, 2021, 10:55 p.m.
So I was with my friend in a bar. He was talking to some girl.
Yeah.
They were two. So I started talking to the other one to help him out.
Yeah.
Then we're talking, but she's acting a little weird, and I don't know her. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to know her. We're talking. She got my snap and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I was just saying something. She said something I don't understand, and I want to know her.
Yeah.
So I said, "Do you want to go to the balcony?" She said something I didn't understand again. So I asked her, "Do you want to go to the balcony? I can't hear you."
Yeah.
Then she grabs my hand, starts taking me somewhere, but we're not going to the balcony.
Right.
I don't know what's going on. Then she talks to the security guard, and I find out that we're in the restroom. We hardly get into the cabin. It's so small. And then we close the door. She says, "Turn around." I'm like, "What? Wait, what are we doing?" And I'm the guy. Why am I turning around? But I just go with it. Then she gives me her coat. But I'm like a little scared, so I still look behind.
Yeah.
And then she just starts peeing out of nowhere.
On you or in the toilet?
No, in the toilet.
Okay.
Luckily, in the toilet.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Why am I inside? I can go out if you want."
Yeah.
But she's like, "No, you wanted to be here." And I said, "No, I wanted to go to the balcony."
Yeah. Yeah, not the bathroom with you.
Yeah.
Like, what? That is so funny.
Yeah.
Wait, if that's all that happened? She just like peed and then you
she
guys
just
left the
peed,
restroom.
and then we went out, and then she said, "Yeah, we danced a little more," and then
Okay.
that was it.
Oh my gosh!
I was like,
How
what
freaking random.
happened?
Like,
Yeah.
why did that? What is the point of that?
Yeah,
That's
that was a
amazing.
weird night.
That's a weird
Yeah,
night. I
yeah,
love
it
that
was.
story, dude. That's so freaking random.
Yeah.
Eduardo, thank you so much for
Thank
that
you.
story. I love the imagery of him being scared in the tight bathroom stall and being told by this attractive young lady to turn around. Clearly not how he had envisioned this whole thing going down. But sometimes random events like this one give us the stories to tell at parties that you just wouldn't have if you always say no. Our next writer shares two firsts story of being in Colorado on her first ski trip at 40 years old and trying an edible for the first time. And she said she met this really nice guy earlier that day, and they were hanging out in the hotel hallway when the effects of her edible start to hit her.
Story number 154. Sunday, February 14th, 2021, 1:51 a.m.
I took an edible
Uh-oh.
with him.
Uh-oh.
We were in the hallway.
Yeah.
We both had roommates. We're like, "Hey, let's take edibles." I had never done edibles, weed, or anything.
Yeah.
And so we're talking, like having deep life conversation. All of a sudden, I noticed that my tongue felt extremely heavy. And I was like, "What the fuck?" But I remember thinking, "God, this dude doesn't know me. He's going to think I'm crazy."
Right.
But finally, I had to confess to him. And I said, "Hey, I know you don't know me." I literally said, "I know you don't know me, but my tongue is feeling extremely heavy." He said, "Really? What's going on?" And he fucked with me for a while. And then he said, "Somebody's high." I had totally forgot that I took that little sour apple candy, because in my mind it was a little piece of candy. It was half a candy. It wasn't gonna do anything. I was fucked up. So we went from a heavy tongue
Right.
to me walking, and he was a gentleman because
Yeah.
he walked me down to my room, and I went in my room. My roommate, who was knocked out asleep, she never knew that I took this edible. And I was in the room, and I went through so many emotions. Like, there was like the bear. She coughed, and it sounded like a fucking bear.
Wow.
I was like, what the fuck? And then I saw Ferris wheels and colors. And
In your room.
Oh, in the room. I've
this.
told people this story. They're like, yeah, that shit was laced. I don't know, because I never fucked with weed or edibles in my life, so
Right.
I didn't know. But I was like,
So you were like 40-year-old virgin, except
absolutely
for
the
drugs.
40-year-old virgin is what to say.
I love it.
I was like, who wants to feel like this? I'm so out of control. So I called Southwest Airlines, and I politely said, I'm sick. I'm not going to be able to fly tomorrow, because I was so fucking paranoid that in my head,
Yeah.
if I went through TSA,
Yeah.
they were going to arrest me.
Oh. Yeah.
So they met my accommodation, and I flew out the next day.
That's awesome.
That's my first experience with an edible, and last
First and last. Okay.
with an edible.
Well, Miss Captain Kirk, can't blame you for that. That was not the best. That was not the best first experience. Well,
Oh my god!
that's fantastic.
I told my son, by the way.
Yeah, as you
Just
should.
just to be honest with him, like,
Yeah.
you know, your mom is not perfect,
Right. I mean,
but she did it at 40, which is the key.
That is the big difference,
to
isn't it?
success.
Because you knew your boundaries.
I was grown.
You're a grown woman. You're able to
Absolutely.
call ahead to the
We're grown people.
airport and say, you know what, you guys, I'm not showing up tomorrow. Reschedule me. You're able to, yeah. Miss Captain Kirk, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. So, I guess this is another of those stories of at least trying something once. But in her case, once was enough. And from what happened to her, I think I'd probably come to the same decision. No more edibles for me, please. This next writer tells about her Panama City spring break story, where at 19 years old, she convinces her grandmother to let her drive her car, and her mother to agree to fax her ID if needed, so that these kids can rent a condo, because the main person has to be at least 25 years old. We join her in the story where she is rolled up to what is touted as the largest club in America. And her and her friends are all working on getting in with their fake IDs.
Story number 155. Friday, February 19, 2021, 4:26 p.m.
I'm the only one who doesn't get in. Like, there's 10 of us. There's guys, girls. There's a whole group of us. I'm the only one that doesn't get in.
And you're
Everybody's
you're the ringleader. You've
I'm the
driven
ringleader.
everybody.
Like, no one is even down here
Yeah.
except for my condo and my car. So why the heck am I not getting into
Right.
this place? So, okay, cool. So, me being me, I tell everybody, every man for himself. Go in. I'll meet you inside. And they're like, what the hell are you talking about? You're going to meet us inside? Like, you know, because why would you go out of town and leave your friend outside in a parking lot in a random place?
No. Terrible idea.
I was like, no, you better not come out here. Go in there. Like, everybody had gotten their hands stamped, like,
Yeah.
fakely drawn on, because after just knowing what stamp to put on, it was crazy. Everybody got in but me. So about 15 minutes later, where do they find me? On the dance floor.
No.
How did I get in?
Ooh,
Okay, so I'm in this dilemma. I can't get in. I'm underage. They know my face. What do? Do I just go back to the condo? Do I just sit in the car and wait for my friends to get out?
Right.
No. What do? I see a door.
Uh-huh.
A weird side door that's like very sketchy, and I just like decide I'm just gonna go in that door.
Yeah.
So I go walking through this parking lot. There's sand everywhere because it's near the beach.
Oh my
And I just
gosh.
open up this random door.
Yeah.
And it's this weird dressing room, and there's this sign that's like 3-6 Mafia dressing room, and I'm like, 3-6 Mafia, like, Juicy J was here. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So this was back when all the bands will make her dance, I guess. They had performed there.
Yeah.
So I just walking through this basement of this club, like, I hear the music, so I know everybody's upstairs.
Right.
And I'm just exploring without a care in the world.
Love it.
It was like an episode, or like, I don't know what this was, but it was like an episode out of a movie or some kind of Broadway play or something. It was bizarre.
Yeah.
And so I get to the top of the stairs, and I'm like, okay, if I open this door, what if I'm literally in the employee like area?
Ooh,
okay, whatever. I'm just tell them I'm drunk and lost. Okay.
Right.
So I open the door and I'm out by the pool. I'm like, dang. Of course, this is the biggest club in America, so like, there's a lot of clubs inside of here. So I am wandering around this crazy club in this weird Florida spring break place. And I have just come up through the basement, some dressing room. I'm just wandering around some pool. Finally, I see the club. And I'm like, okay. And I just literally slide in through some weird back door.
Wow.
And my friends literally will tell you the story. Like, we didn't know where she was for like 30 minutes. We look up. She is in the middle of the dance floor, like dancing, just as if she was supposed to be there.
That's incredible.
So,
well, and you're right, though. It is about being persistent.
Right,
it's like not give. It is the don't ever give up. I love that.
I could never live that story down, by the way. That happened my
amazing.
second year of college.
Yeah.
And not to reveal my age, but it's been over a decade, and they still tell that story. So
You do not look like you're a decade out of college, by the
yes.
way. Wow.
Oh,
well,
yes.
keep using that face cream. But wow, that's an amazing story. I love
Thank
it. And
you.
it really is like, there is like the funny part, and then there's the inspiring part.
Yeah, like
the don't give up.
And it's just like so me, because it's like, okay, so you were just going to be lit at all costs.
Right.
Yep, pretty much.
And I love that you got your mom and grandma in on it. That's also a little mind-blowing. Man. Well,
in my defense, I didn't do anything bad on the trip, or, you know, I would have made them proud. I had a good trip. It was innocent fun. Like,
I love that.
You know, you never hear that in college, but it was a good trip. It was girls and guys, and we were just really like legit having fun. Like, it was good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Peaches, thank you for your story.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. I love her enthusiasm for life and her never say die attitude. How cool is it that even though she broke a few rules to make this trip of a lifetime happen, she wasn't really trying to do anything that she'd feel bad about later on. Way to go, Miss Peaches. This next is a short story of how a birthday activity didn't quite end as planned.
Story number 156. Saturday, February 20th, 2021, 1:13 a.m.
My story is last year I went with my family to Yellowstone National Park.
Love that place.
Amazing and great.
Yes.
But it was also my birthday, and I think I was having like a quarter life crisis.
Okay.
If you will.
Yes.
And we were all snowmobiling, and we were turning the corner just to like put our snowmobiles right in the park, and I completely flipped it on myself.
No.
And completely broke the entire snowmobile.
Oh, but you didn't die.
No, that was fine.
Wow, that's pretty boss.
How was the insurance check?
Right.
My dad had to eat it.
Oh. God. Well, hey, snowmobiles can be replaced.
Yeah.
Right. You're a little harder to replace.
No, but it was worth it. It was fun. But I was hot dogging it because it was my birthday.
You know, as you should. Not all things end in fairy tale endings. You know, sometimes the sleigh breaks. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, true.
Well, Jane, thanks for your story. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Glad no one was hurt, and thank God for a dad who was able to pay for the snowmobile you wrecked without insurance. Good times. So this just happens to be the second story on our ride today together that involves some spring break challenges. Except in this one, it's not just a domestic trip, it's international.
Story number 157. Saturday, February 20th, 2021, 3:56 p.m.
And so I'm a man of a couple girlfriends, couple long-term relationships. You know,
Simultaneously or
no,
No.
sometimes, but
Yeah, I got
Not
you. There's
always.
Occasional overlap.
yeah. So my best one is though. So I was a junior in college,
Okay.
and I was dating a girl from another school.
Yeah.
We met at a football game. You know, the rest goes down the road, and then, you know, Christmas breaks comes, and then she's studying abroad.
Okay.
And so we're like, okay, you know, maybe this long distance. We already did long distance one time.
Yeah.
Maybe from North America to continental Europe is not going to work.
Right.
And so the bad thing is I had already bought a plane ticket to surprise her
Oh, no.
in March.
Oh, crap.
And this was before we came to the Christmas break call it quits.
Right. Oh, I knew it was
And
going this way.
And so I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
It's spring break time. All my buddies have plans already, and I'm
Right.
like, "Oh shit!
Right.
I have a flight to Barcelona, Spain,
Which is a great place.
a great place, or I have no plans at all, or I'm
Right,
gonna
right.
sit on my ass
Right,
and
right.
go to my parents' house and, you know, hang out with my parents, which is not the ideal thing to do
No.
spring break
No.
for junior year.
Right.
So I text her. We had not spoken in months, and I'm like, "Hey, so." Like, what's the deal? Do you care if I just show up on your doorstep in Barcelona?
Nice.
And so, and even worse, I'd booked like a flights and a like Amalfi Coast, Airbnb overlooking the coast, romantic thing.
Couples massages.
It was
chocolate.
It was the whole 9 yards.
Oh my God.
And so we get this. So I decided to do it. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, let's do it. Go over to Barcelona. She picks me up in a cab. Like, after the cab, she's smoking a cigarette.
Interesting.
And she's like,
Was she not smoking?
no, she doesn't smoke cigarettes normally. She's like, this is a completely stress-related thing.
Okay, I got you.
And so we're fine the first 2 days. We're like, okay, rekindling.
Uh-huh.
Then comes the Amalfi Coast vacation.
Right, which should be amazing.
Which was amazing. The wine, the pizza, amazing.
Yeah.
And then we find ourselves in this one, you know, suite, king bedroom suite.
Uh-huh.
We're sleeping back to back.
Oh wait, so you guys aren't like getting it on?
No, we're
Oh, okay. You guys are abiding by the break off. I
We're
feel like I would
so-
call the break off. Like, let's just unbreak off for like a couple of days. We're in Amalfi. in
we
this beautiful
tried.
place. Right, okay.
We're on arguably the most beautiful place
Yes,
in the
oh my
world.
gosh.
Sleeping back to back.
Oh, dude, that's
My
terrible.
ex-girlfriend is lighting cigarettes on the stovetop to handle her anxiety of her
jeez.
ex-boyfriend traveling thousands of miles to come show up with her.
Yeah.
And then the grateful end of the story was, thankfully, one of my great friends from high school had the spring break a week after ours, which also overlapped.
Okay.
And so he was staying in Barcelona with some friends at the time as well.
That's good.
And so when we came back from Amalfi,
Yeah.
we were like, you know, like it was a great time. Views are awesome, but you know, we still kind of hate each other. Like,
Right.
not really. And so I got a couch to sleep on for the
Nice.
for the next 3 days until I flew back stateside.
Well, and hopefully once her stress point, i.e. you, was out of her life, did she drop the habit, or is she now a chain
No,
smoker?
I mean, I don't keep up with her, but I think the stovetop lit cigarettes were a one-time deal.
Okay. It was situational habit.
I think it was, here's my ex-boyfriend
Yeah,
showing up at my
yeah.
doorstep thousands of miles away.
Right.
You know what? A little stovetop cigarette will take the edge off.
So
that
much better.
will take the edge off.
So much better than like heroin. It could have gone so much
Oh,
worse.
it could have been worse.
Right.
It could have been worse.
It was just a cigarette, so it's not that bad.
Yes.
Dude, thank you so much for the story. It's fantastic. I feel like I was with you the whole way. Like I could just feel
Jameson.
Yeah, Jameson. I could feel it. I could just feel it happening the whole
I'm
way.
glad. No,
Yeah.
and to all those kids that are gonna fly across the Atlantic to see their ex-girlfriends, don't do it.
Yeah. Long distance relationship plus long distance tickets. Not a good.
Not
recipe.
worth it.
Not worth it. Appreciate it, man.
All right, thanks.
So yeah, don't buy vacation trips well ahead of time for the person you're dating in college. You might not still be dating when the actual trip rolls around. And also, here's to hoping that the ex-girlfriend has not become a raging smokeaholic due to our friend here bursting back into her life. This next conversation is kind of a longer and wide-ranging convo, but it touches on things I'm passionate about, and also some subjects that I'd like to see more Americans begin to wrestle with.
Story number 158. Saturday, February 20th, 2021, 3 a.m.
Okay, I have a story about, it's basically my brother-in-law.
Okay.
This is like a wrongfully conviction.
Oh, wow.
He basically was like dating this girl, but he didn't really know her age.
Okay.
She told him that she was 18, and come to find out, Shorty was like 16.
Uh-oh. How old is he?
25
Okay.
at the time.
Yeah.
But she was living that life.
Yep.
She was already living that life. And
Well-
still to this day, she's living that life.
I believe it. And it's tough, too, if a girl develops physically, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. And you
got
can't
the
tell.
boobies and the butt.
Yeah,
You
and
cannot tell.
No.
Right? There's that borderline thing, especially when they're between 16 and 20. Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So, he told me they was at this hotel room. They was, kicking it or whatever. And my brother's one of those type of guys that's going to be like, oh, well, since you do the tricking, we're going to be doing the tricking together. And he was like one of those people. And
gotcha.
so one day they said it was an undercover cop outside. And I guess he tried to pull a trick, had to do the thing, and they got busted.
Oh, wow. So basically, in that case, then he becomes a pimp.
Yes.
Oh,
but
man.
what makes him wrongfully convicted is because the girl told the people that he raped her and made her go out there and do it. But you go on her Instagram today, she's still out there doing it.
Oh, man.
And my thing is, why can't we go to the government or to the lawyers or to the DEA and tell these people, show these people, look, she's still out here doing it.
Yeah.
Look, she's still out here doing whatever she has to do, selling her body or whatever. But you can have my brother locked up
Right.
for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, whoa.
Oh,
those
wow,
guys
they almost got into an accident.
Yep, if that guy hadn't been able to get over.
And they still about to.
Car's a little aggressive. Yeah, it's a really, those are tough because I think part of what they're trying to do, and again, the government does literally a horrible job at this. So but the intent behind it, which I do agree with, is you'll get these young girls, and I've actually had one of the girls I interviewed is really heartbreaking. She was 20 years old, and she had escaped her second pimp, but she had started in the life at 14 years old. And if you follow their stories, most of the girls that get into the life really young, and by the life, of course, if you're not familiar with that as the listener, the life is basically in the prostitution game.
That comes from a lot of abandonment.
Abuse.
It comes from not having a real parent in the home. It comes from not having a father. It comes from not having even a grandmother to love them. Because they don't have nobody, so they look towards the streets.
Absolutely.
See, I'm only just 27, and I can just tell you so much stuff that I just know about the streets that I don't even have nothing to do with. I just learn from just
observation.
Observation.
No, and so that's I think where the tricky part is there are really good people out there that are trying to help solve the problem of sex trafficking. And so you've got, again, young girl who gets into the life early because, like, everything you just said, abandonment, honestly, abuse is usually mixed in there. And so...
And it also comes from these mothers out here having these kids young.
Yeah.
And they think their kid is their best friend.
Yeah.
Your kid is not your best friend.
Yeah.
You know, you can't raise your kid and think, oh, we're gonna go to the club together, or we're gonna do this, we're gonna smoke, we're gonna drink together.
Yeah.
And now, boom, your kid is missing.
Yeah.
Because your kid wants to be grown.
Yeah.
And she's 13 and 12. It's not cool.
No, it's not cool.
And now she's pregnant, and now you're yelling at her and want her to have an abortion, but you show her the way.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. Yeah. No, I feel for her brother if he got caught up in something where she was, saying stuff about him, because no one wants to be accused of rape and all this stuff. As a man, it's like the worst nightmare ever to be accused by a woman.
It's so bad because he don't even have, like, they haven't even sentenced him yet.
Wow.
And he's been locked up since 2016.
Oh, wow.
And he hasn't even been sentenced yet.
Yeah.
He's in prison, but he's not sentenced. Like, how long is he's going to be? He's still waiting on a court date. He's still waiting on his lawyer.
Right.
Like, everything is bad.
Yeah.
And then with Corona, court dates and stuff got pushed all the way back.
Totally.
And with me working in the jail, it's just seeing that a lot of people that's in there for misdemeanors, stupid stuff, and ain't got no court date, nothing to back them up. And it's like the system, they just treat them like shit.
Yep, they
literally treat them like shit.
No,
I work with deputies every day. They treat these people like shit. And I work for one of the jails that's just...
Yeah. No, you work for one of the worst.
Just very prejudiced jails.
Yep, very prejudiced jails. And the thing you learn about jail, too, is they literally, we as humans treat animals way better. We don't put them in concrete and steel enclosures and throw them away, no matter what they've done. And, I 100% don't agree with what your brother did. You don't.
Oh, no, I don't either.
Right. No, I get that. No, so it's not like there's no condoning of it from that point of view. The age thing is really rough, man. As a guy, you got to be, I've told, and many years ago when I was much younger, but I told my friends, is like, you had better make so sure that if a girl says she's 18 and there's any shadow of a doubt, like, you better verify 20 ways from Sunday before you come anywhere close to having sexual contact with that person. And someone close to me, almost got trapped in that, and it was that would have been scary. And the girl did swear she was 19 years old and all this stuff, and wasn't. So that's terrifying.
But we gotta stop normalizing the line about the age.
Yep. I pick up kids, I swear to God, this is no joke, I pick up kids from the Buckhead, all those bars on there. Many times I've picked them up. When they get in my car, now they're drunk, okay, and they're admitting to me that they're only 16, 17 years old.
Oh,
and they're,
my God.
No, yeah. And they've been drinking the whole night. And I'm like, oh, my God, all these bars in Buckhead could lose their license. There's tons of kids that are way underage. They've just gotten really good at manipulating the fake IDs.
Yes.
And these bars are freaking busy, right? They're slammed.
They're not checking them.
Yeah, or they're just not checking them. I don't know. But that's I'll tell you what, for a bar, that could be bad. But, yeah, I don't know how we're drifting all over the place. The big thing is, I would say also, is for, let's say, like, someone like your brother got caught up in some stuff he should not have been doing. I would love to see a system that instead of throwing them away as a piece of garbage, like, why don't we work on rehabilitation?
Yes.
Right?
We don't have rehabilitation. Nope. They put these people in a transition center, and it's still jail, and they think that's rehabilitating somebody.
No, it's not. No, it's not. In fact, what ends up happening is it becomes like a networking event for criminals, right?
Yes, that's all it becomes.
I know. Yes, you go in, you maybe know a little teeny bit about the streets, and by the time you come out,
you know everything.
You know everything. Yep, you're hooked up. You've got all the down low on everything, and you come out so much worse.
You're plugged in with several people that's in there. It's so much. Like, I wish I can start like a rehabilitation program. I wish I can start a reform program
Yes.
for people that's in jail that can get out and have real careers, because there's a lot of talented people that
Yes.
is in jail.
Yes, they're
and
so creative.
And they waste it because
Yeah.
they're so caught up in the life.
Yep.
They don't know what else to do.
I know.
Instead of somebody telling them and giving them the encouragement and be like, you can do this.
That's right.
You may not can go to college, but you can take your mind and what your ability to do anything and do it.
Well, and let's face it, in the world we live in right now, blue collar, there's a lot of blue collar jobs that you can make a lot of money in.
Yes.
Right? Because I can't do very much blue collar stuff. I was just.
And it's a lot of small businesses out here now.
Yeah, there is.
You can create your own business just right out your home.
That's true.
And a lot of people they're not putting their all into stuff. They're just giving up so easily because they're so locked down in the system. That's all they know.
I know. Yeah. They become institutionalized.
Yeah.
It's really. Well, and I love that your perspective, because, I mean, you're literally working in this environment. So you're not speaking about it from a distance.
Oh,
you're
no.
seeing it up close and personal.
See, my thing is, my mind, I think about, I just work here.
Right.
I don't
I know.
take none of this stuff. I hate the job. I hate the place where I work in anyway.
I feel you.
I just work here.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
I hate the people sometimes. They're disgusting. Some of the stuff is just so disgusting. I get home and I'm mad.
Wow.
Because it's just what they're doing in there. But people don't know until you start working into these places. People don't know until you really see with your own eyes what's going on in places.
Yep, I agree. I've become really passionate about seeing the justice system reformed, and sometimes I get so hurt or angry. It's so bad. Yeah, and we're America. We are so much. We can do so much better.
Yes, because the jails in Venezuela, it's 75 people to one cell.
Right.
It literally, like, I watched the documentaries. It's so terrible over there, and the Americans over there are getting so railroad. It's ridiculous. Like, they don't get no phone calls home. They don't get anything. Like, if you're American and you got locked up in somewhere else,
you're toast.
oh, you're that's it.
Yeah, I know.
Ain't no, you're coming back home.
No, I know, especially in those countries, the developing world. Yeah, that's really bad.
And it's like people take America for granted.
I know.
They take everything that we have for granted. Even the people that just living in this world, they take it for granted. Yeah. Everything.
I will say, though, there are countries, especially like some of the Scandinavian countries, where they really have some amazing ways of dealing with people who commit crimes, and the way they rehabilitate them. They don't even wear, in a lot of cases, the prison guards don't wear different uniforms. And they treat them like human beings, and they treat them like these are people that are actually going to get released and become a part of society again. And I would love to see the American system, among many other reforms, adopt some of those programs and some of those ways of thinking about prisoners as human beings, because the rehabilitation rate is so much higher in the countries like Norway and Switzerland, some of these other countries that I've read about. So much better on the recidivism rate than we have here in America. So anyways, you're right. We're way better than Venezuela, but we're not nearly as good as the Scandinavians. No. And so
just like in Finland. In Finland, I read something about a murderer. He had a whole car driving to jail. They had a whole little apartment in jail. This is jail. Yeah. They got a TV, everything, a microwave, a refrigerator, everything. Yep. But they still letting him go to school. They still letting him go to work.
He's a human being.
All thing he has to do is check in every weekend to come to jail, and he's still able to live his life. Just because whatever he did, you still have to be able to live your life. You need an education. You still need everything, because some of these people are in jail, ain't never learned how to write, read, or nothing.
I know.
They just jail. That's all they know is jail, jail.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing, and it's been an interesting conversation.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I would love to see, in my lifetime, steps being made towards changing our justice system from one that is almost entirely retributive and moving towards something that is restorative. Throwing humans into concrete and steel dungeons with very little care for their humanity is not the answer for anyone, other than maybe the most truly criminally insane and violent folks. Here's to finding new ways to look at broken old systems. Our final writer for tonight was this delightful lady who is just beautiful inside and out. And she reminded me that our city is a pretty great place to be.
Story number 159. Saturday, February 20th, 2021, 3:43 a.m.
So my story today, I'm not from Atlanta. It's my first time in Atlanta. This is my second day.
Wow. Where are you from?
I'm from Philly.
Oh, go Philly. Okay, awesome.
I do love the Atlanta vibe. I love everyone who's come out and enjoy themselves, who's brung their most best outfits, their most best vibes, everything.
Yep.
And I just love it. Not knowing people and just complimenting how you are, how you dress, or your vibe and everything. It's just, I love Atlanta. It's making me want to move here.
Wow, really? That's amazing.
Yes.
So, because, and it's going to sound like I'm just saying this now, but you really do, you have like a really sweet, kind of genuine vibe about you.
I do.
Yeah, very, very much so. And you're beautiful and you dress well and all that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. But are you saying that in Philly you don't normally hear that feedback, and here you worth hearing that feedback?
I don't.
Okay.
Sad to say, people in Philly and like around the area, Delaware, Jersey, they don't give you compliments as much as people in Atlanta.
That's interesting.
And I love it. Like, I feel like the top-notch female in Atlanta. Like, I am $1 million female in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's so
because
cool.
of their compliments.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, it's funny. It's one of those things that I probably wouldn't notice because I'm from I've lived in the South for a long time and lived in Atlanta for 6 years, or 7 years now, but whatever. I wouldn't have known or thought that, but that's really cool that you have that perspective coming from somewhere else.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Well, I love it, and I love that our fair city is treating you well, and you absolutely are a delightful person, and Atlanta would be a better place if you moved here. I mean
absolutely.
That. Truly. Yeah.
I need to stay here.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this is my hometown now. As many compliments and as much as people seen me for myself, like dancing wise, talking wise, everything.
Yeah.
I feel like this is where I need to be.
Yeah.
To pursue my dreams, pursue my love and everything.
I love that. So, I mean, let's go there real quick. Tell me a little bit about Ty's dreams and hopes. Like, where are you at with that, and where are you wanting to go with your hopes and dreams?
Well, I have my EMT license, my CNA. Like,
oh my God. Awesome.
Yes, I love going to school. I love learning new things.
Yep.
But I want to be in the medical field, so that's why I pursue my dreams and everything in the medical field.
Yeah.
Wherever it takes me, I will follow.
Yeah.
Anything that helps me help others, I'm going to do it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I love being in the medical field. I love customer service. I love knowing about other people.
Yeah. That's huge.
I try.
Well, and that's amazing. And obviously, I don't know a ton about the medical field, but from what I understand, someone did you say CNA? You're a CNA? Okay. Yeah. From what I understand about that whole world is basically if you're a decent CNA, you could move to really anywhere you wanted to in the U.S.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but there's definitely a huge need here in Atlanta. So, you could probably get a job in a week. And
I hope so, because this is my chance to move here.
I love it. Ty, thank you for being such a breath of fresh air. I wish all Atlantans were as awesome as you are. And like literally, it's 3:30 in the morning, and I was a little tired, and you've just brightened my whole night. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
It's so interesting that if you have positive interactions with people while you're visiting somewhere, that you end up feeling drawn to a particular city. And if you have negative experiences with people, you may categorize an entire geographic area as no good. Or maybe that's just me, but I totally do this. A number of our stories today involved experiences where people took chances, took risks, and had a story-worthy outcome, whether it went well or not. I love that, and in general, that's the kind of life I want to live. One where I'm not looking back and wondering, what would have happened if I had just spoken to that person, or jumped on an opportunity, or had an adventure of some kind. But I think our last rider gave me the true takeaway from our time together on this ride. She was made to feel like an entire city, in this case Atlanta, is wonderful, and she's considering relocating because people saw her and were kind to her and complimented her. What if we all committed to stepping up our game and really made more of a conscious effort to see each other and lift one another up? How would that change the atmosphere of our cities and towns? What if people started to say that they wanted to be in your city because of how empowered they felt, and they wanted to bring their passions and talents to where we live because of it? It might just start to feel a little bit more like a slice of heaven in an otherwise difficult place. So that's my challenge to all of us for the next month. Let's practice lifting people up whenever we can till it becomes a habit. And maybe, just maybe, the positive energy will spread until the places that we live and go become a little bit more kind and generous. Okay, my friends, I believe in you and that you can make a difference. This is what happens when you are a rideshare driver in Atlanta and ask people for their stories. These weren't handpicked people with great stories. They just happened to get in my car and be gracious enough to share with all of us. And who knows, maybe someday you'll be in Atlanta and need to grab a rideshare and end up telling the rest of us the next great story on BCP. I'd actually encourage you to, every so often, just ask a stranger to share a story from their life. You never know what you might learn. I believe that our stories are powerful. They can make you laugh, cringe, cry, or even get you to think or feel differently. Our stories can truly make this world a little bit better place. So please, subscribe, rate, and listen to this podcast and share it with as many adults as possible. It would mean so much to me. First and foremost, I want to thank the incredible writers who trusted me with your stories. You're my heroes. Thanks also to all the people in the background who have believed in this project/dream. All of the music on this podcast was found on pixabay.com, and it was free, which is an amazing gift when you're starting a podcast on a shoestring budget.